So, you're all set to tour Europe, right? Maybe you're imagining sipping espresso in a quaint cafe or wandering through ancient ruins. Well, before you get too carried away, let me introduce you to the darker side of the continent. These are the cities that probably didn't make it into your travel guide. Welcome to the top 10 dangerous European cities. Get ready because this isn't your typical sightseeing tour. Number 10. Grenoble, France. Let's kick things off with Grenoble, nestled in the French Alps. This city, with a population of around 160,000, is often referred to as the capital of the Alps and is known for its winter sports and cutting-edge research facilities. But don't let the snow-capped peaks and charming streets fool you. Grenoble has a rough underbelly. The crime rate here has been climbing, particularly when it comes to theft and violent crime. In recent years, there's been a 9% increase in criminal activity, including muggings and burglaries. The city's narrow streets and bustling markets are perfect hunting grounds for pickpockets and muggers. Even locals have become cautious, especially at night when the risk of assault is higher. If you're planning to visit, enjoy the breathtaking views but keep your belongings close and your guard even closer. Number 9. Charleroi, Belgium. Next up, Charleroi, a city that's often described as gritty and not without reason. Charleroi was once a thriving industrial hub, but today it's better known for its struggles with crime and urban decay. With a population of about 200,000, it's seen better days. The crime rate here is one of the highest in Belgium, with violent crimes, muggings, and drug trafficking being disturbingly common. The city's dark, deserted streets at night are not the place you want to find yourself alone. The local police have their hands full, but the reality is that many areas are simply no-go zones after dark. The downtown area, once the heart of the city, now feels like a ghost town, with derelict buildings and a palpable sense of unease. If you visit Charleroi, stick to the main tourist spots during the day and avoid wandering off the beaten path. Number 8. Naples, Italy. Naples, a city with a dual identity. On one hand, it's the birthplace of pizza, rich in history, art, and culture. But with a population nearing 1 million, Naples also has a darker side that's deeply intertwined with its charm. The city is infamous for its high crime rates, particularly in terms of theft and organized crime. Petty theft is rampant, especially in crowded tourist areas where pickpockets work in teams to relieve you of your valuables. But it doesn't stop there. Robberies are common, and if you're really unlucky, you might run into the Camorra, the city's notorious mafia. The Camorra has its fingers in everything, from drug trafficking to extortion, and their presence is felt across the city. While the narrow, winding streets of Naples are tempting to explore, it's best to stay vigilant and avoid flashing any signs of wealth. A leisurely stroll could quickly turn into a run for safety if you're not careful. Number 7. Minsk, Belarus. Now we're heading east to Minsk, the capital of Belarus. Minsk is a city that wears its Soviet history on its sleeve, with grand boulevards and imposing architecture. With a population of 2 million, it's the largest city in Belarus, but it's also a place where crime and political tension go hand in hand. The city's crime rate is relatively high, with corruption, theft, and violent crime being significant issues. What makes Minsk particularly dangerous for visitors, however, is the political climate. The government is known for its heavy-handed tactics, and tourists who get involved in or even witness political demonstrations can find themselves in hot water. Human rights abuses are a grim reality here, and the police aren't always the ones you can trust. So while Minsk might seem like a fascinating place to visit, remember that you're treading on thin ice. Stay out of political discussions and keep your activities as low-key as possible. Number 6. Nantes, France. Back to France, this time to the city of Nantes. Located on the Loire River, Nantes is celebrated for its vibrant art scene, rich history, and innovative spirit. But underneath this cultural veneer, the city of 320,000 is grappling with a rising tide of crime. Nantes has seen an alarming increase in violent assaults, thefts, and even riots in recent years. The city's nightlife, while lively, can quickly turn dangerous, with brawls and muggings not uncommon in certain districts. Car fires have also become a troubling trend, often related to protests or gang activity. The suburbs of Nantes are particularly notorious for higher crime rates, with some areas becoming near no-go zones after dark. While exploring the beautiful architecture and historic sites, keep an eye on your surroundings and avoid wandering into unfamiliar neighborhoods. Number 5. Catania, Italy. Sicily's Catania is a city of contrasts. It's the second largest city on the island, with a population of about 300,000, and it sits in the shadow of Mount Etna, Europe's most active volcano. The city is known for its Baroque architecture and lively markets, but it also has a reputation for crime, particularly organized crime. The Cosa Nostra, Sicily's infamous mafia, still has a significant influence here, and their presence is felt in everything from politics to everyday life. Street crime is also a major issue, with muggings, car thefts, and pickpocketing being all too common. Tourists are often seen as easy targets, especially in crowded markets and public transport. The crime rate in Catania is one of the highest in Italy, and while the city has a lot to offer in terms of culture and history, visitors need to be constantly aware of their surroundings. Stick to well-lit areas at night and avoid carrying large amounts of cash or expensive items when exploring. Number 4. Birmingham, England. Welcome to Birmingham, England's second city, with a population of over 1 million. Birmingham is a diverse and dynamic city, known for its rich industrial history and vibrant cultural scene. But beneath the surface, the city is grappling with serious crime problems. Knife crime and gang violence are particularly troubling, with Birmingham often ranking as one of the most dangerous cities in the UK. The city's crime rate is significantly higher than the national average, and certain areas are notorious for their high levels of violence and antisocial behavior. Areas like Handsworth and Aston have seen a surge in gang-related activities, including shootings and stabbings, making them some of the most dangerous parts of the city. Muggings and robberies are also common, particularly in the city center and around public transport hubs. If you're visiting Birmingham, be sure to stay in well-populated areas and keep your street smarts sharp. Number 3. Marseille, France. Marseille, the oldest city in France and one of its largest with a population of around 870,000, is a place of contrasts. Known for its stunning Mediterranean coastline, multicultural vibe, and historic old port, Marseille is also plagued by high crime rates. The city has long been a key entry point for drug trafficking in Europe, and this has fueled a significant amount of violence, particularly in the northern districts. Robberies, assaults, and gang-related violence are common, and the police are often stretched thin trying to keep up. The crime rate in Marseille is one of the highest in France, with drug-related shootings becoming almost a regular occurrence in certain neighborhoods. Tourists are often targeted for muggings, especially in the crowded areas around the Old Port and the Canebière. While Marseille has much to offer, from its beautiful beaches to its rich history, it's a city where you need to be on your guard at all times. Number 2. Coventry, England. Coventry might surprise some people by making this list, but with a population of around 370,000, it's a city with a high crime rate that can't be ignored. Known for its medieval history and as a center of British industry, Coventry is also dealing with significant issues related to violent crime and antisocial behavior. The city's crime rate is higher than many other parts of the UK, particularly when it comes to violent assaults, robberies, and theft. Certain areas, like Hillfields, are notorious for their crime levels, with drug dealing and gang activity being particularly problematic. Coventry's nightlife can be lively, but it's also where many of the city's problems are most visible, with brawls, stabbings, and muggings occurring with alarming frequency. Visitors should be cautious when exploring Coventry, especially after dark, and avoid venturing into less populated areas alone. Number 1. Bradford, England. And here we are, at the top of the list, Bradford. With a population of around 540,000, Bradford has earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous cities in the UK. The city has long struggled with issues related to poverty and unemployment, and these have contributed to a high crime rate, particularly in terms of violent crime and drug offenses. Bradford's crime statistics are some of the worst in the country, with burglaries, robberies, and assaults being disturbingly common. Areas like Manningham and Little Horton are especially notorious for their high levels of crime, with gang activity and drug-related violence being major concerns. The city's police force is under constant pressure, but the crime rate remains stubbornly high. While there are certainly parts of Bradford worth visiting, it's not a city where you can afford to let your guard down. Stay in well-populated areas, avoid flashing any valuables, and be mindful of your surroundings at all times. So, there you have it, the top 10 most dangerous cities in Europe. Now, I'm not saying you should scratch these places off your itinerary, but maybe just take a little extra care if you do decide to visit. Europe is full of beautiful, safe places to explore. These cities just require a bit more caution. Stay safe and remember, the best stories are the ones you live to tell. If you liked this video, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop a comment to join the fun. For more unique travel tales and expert tips, stick with your friends Dennis and Becca. Make sure to browse our channel for more engaging videos. Safe travels and be kind to all.